Afghan forces are training for the moment less than 4 months from now, when they will no longer have the backing of the U.S. military after almost 20 years. The American departure will be a decision point for Afghans, warned U.S. lawmakers this week.
Success in Afghanistan can't mean more to the United States than it means to the Afghans. And at the end of the day, I believe it won't mean more to us than the Afghans. I believe the Afghans, having seen the benefits of improved quality of life over 20 years, will decide that they want to keep that rather than to go backwards.
Presidents of both parties have struggled to define U.S. objectives in the region. Biden's decision to finally depart on the anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks, which prompted the U.S. intervention in Afghanistan, is drawing Republican criticism.
The fact that the president chose this date, the 20th anniversary of the most horrific terrorist attacks in our nation's history, indicates this was a calendar-based political decision. It was not based on conditions on the ground, which is the strong bipartisan recommendation Congress has given to both the Republicans and Democrats presidents over the last decade.
But Defense Department officials told lawmakers the nature of the terrorist threat has changed since the days when Osama bin Laden used Afghanistan as his base.
We've got international terrorist groups operating in the Middle East and Africa, northern part of Africa. It's not the nature of the threat has changed over the past 20 years, but the threat emanating from Afghanistan to the United States and our allies has been significantly degraded.
And earlier in the week, a top U.S. diplomat told lawmakers the settlement with the Taliban is a potential turning point.
The Taliban face a fundamental choice between two very different futures. They can embrace a negotiated path to peace, make the transition from a violent insurgency to a political movement, and be part of a nation that enjoys respect in the global community. But if they pursue a military takeover, they will face isolation, regional and international opposition, sanctions, and our allies' support for Afghan security forces will continue.
But since February 2020, the level of violence in Afghanistan has remained high. The Taliban has been blamed for explosions that killed at least 90 people earlier this month at a school outside Kabul. Catherine Gibson, VOA News, Washington.